What's up guys, Juggernaut1 here. Last video of the night. Feel bad kind of doing this late, but I wanted to make sure I did this before the sneak previews start to happen. Yep, one of my favorite segments is going to be my top 10 most sought out cards from Starstrike Blast. I guess that's what you want to call it, yeah, top 10 most sought out cards. So yeah, as I did with the previous two packs, these are going to be the top 10 cards, the 10 cards that I think are going to be the cards that you should be focusing on getting, the cards that for either value or because they're very useful, or they're just the 10 cards I think you should be most focused on getting your hands on, simply put. Okay, number one is pretty simple. I'm going to get this one out of the way. I'm not going to explain it much. It is glow up bulb. Damn, I can't get a very good view of it, but yeah, glow up bulb is basically the common level 1 plant tuner that was it was a common in the OCG. It's being released as an ultra ultimate in the TCG. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. You set the top card of your deck to the graveyard, special summon it from the grave. You could only use it once per duel, but it is freaking awesome. Number two, pretty simple as well, Delg the Dark Monarch. Now, I'm going to be very honest about this card and very quaint. I don't like this card very much. I thought it had promise, but really looking at it, it's just too slow. Its effect isn't even that good. It doesn't screw your opponent over enough, It could be a potential side card in Monarch decks, but even so, I just don't see much promise in it. Number three is going to be Formula Synchron. Now, I know what people are thinking. This is going to be a rare. Why is it so good? Well, the thing is, it's still going to be you're still going to want to get this card because it's a level 2 Synchro. A level 2 Synchro. I mean, many people could make use of this in their extra decks, and I mean, it's just great to have overall, at least in my opinion. Plus the fact that it's rare means if you're on a budget, you could still get it. Number four is going to be Karakuri Shogun MDL 00 Burei. This card is basically the Karakuri Synchro. This is a much anticipated archetype. That'll be in another discussion, but basically this is the Synchro monster. It's pretty amazing. I mean, you get to summon it. And when it's synchro summoned, you get to summon a Karakuri monster from your deck. You can also change the battle position of a monster once per turn. It's pretty great. Next, Scrap Twin Dragon for number 5. Yeah, Scrap Twin Dragon, pretty straightforward. He's the level 9 Scrap Synchro. He's not as good as Scrap Dragon in my opinion, but to be honest, I think that's only because he actually requires a Scrap Tuner, unlike Scrap Dragon. Scrap Twin Dragon basically does the same thing that Scrap Dragon does, with one major difference. And that being, instead of you get to target 2 cards on your opponent's side of the field instead of 1, but instead of them being destroyed, they're returned to their owner's hand. Now, it means Stardust can't stop this, and it also means that My Body's a Shield can't stop it, cards like that. However, it doesn't actually eliminate the cards, so one might consider that to be a major drawback. I don't know. However, it does give Scraps Scraps a lot of strike, because it gives you another option with, if you have Scrap Golem and Scrap Beast on the field, you could sync for it, so it's pretty great. Next, Tuning. Now, Tuning, I think, is it is an overhyped card. The truth is, it's not that good. It has an amazing effect, but in terms of how it's going to help quick draw, it's not going to do that much. I mean, it's a great card, and I could see it really helping Synchron decks, but that's about it. It's definitely, I'd still recommend people try and get this, because it does have a lot of potential, but I don't think people should be acting like it's gonna make quick draw even more awesome than it already is. Number 7 is going to be Heat Wave. This is another rare card. Oh, right, no picture. Heat Wave, I love this card. It is so ridiculous that it's not even funny. Heat Wave is basically, as you might guess, it prevents players from using cards. But unlike Cold Wave, which stops spells and traps from being played or set, this card stops effect monsters from being summoned. Now, if it was monsters, it probably wouldn't be a big deal. What makes this so good is that if you're running a Gemini deck, you can get around this no problem. That's just ridiculous, people. Maybe I'm making a whole big thing out of nothing, but I just think this adds a lot of great strength to Gemini decks, and that's kind of frightening. Not gonna lie. The last 3 cards on my list are secret rares. First one being Skullmeister. I personally think this card is ridiculous, and I think you should all look at it for yourself. Skullmeister is a level 4 fiend type monster that is sort of like a DD Crow. Only in some ways it's actually better. How, you might ask? Well, think of it this way. Skullmeister is one of those cards that negates the effects of the most annoying cards out there. Cards that we didn't have ways of stopping before, and now we finally do. I'm mostly talking about cards like XX Saber, Emmer's Blade. Cards where the effect activates in the graveyard. At the summoning, can't be stopped by cards like Thunder King or Royal Oppression. You literally have to negate the effect directly. Well, Skullmeister is another way of dealing with it. The effect activates, you discard Skullmeister, and the effect is negated. But what's great about this is that Skullmeister can also be used as a beater if he's useless in your hand. But that's part of why he's so great. I'll admit he may be a better side deck option as opposed to main deck option, but I still think it's a great effect because of the way he could deal with Dark Soul, Emmer's Blade, all the recruiters of that nature, you know? He doesn't deal with flip effect monsters, but that's okay. I just think, the effect is great regardless. Next secret rare. You guys probably aren't going to be surprised. It is Scrap Mind Reader. Scrap Mind Reader is the level 1 scrap tuner that is also a TCG exclusive like Skullmeister. Scrapmeister is basically during your second main phase, which I realized actually does make a difference. You can select a face-up scrap monster you control, destroy it, and then you special summon Scrap Mind Reader from your graveyard. But if you do, it's removed from play when it's removed from the field. Now I realize this thing some people might say this card is godly. I think it's good, but I don't think it's godly for 2 reasons. Number 1, you cannot use the special summoning from the graveyard effect during your main phase 1, so it's not something you can use to make an aggressive play. Number 2, the fact that the other synchro material monsters have to be scrap monsters does sort of limit its playability. Sort of. It still can be a great effect, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it's not as ridiculous as people might want it to be. And the last card I want to show you is, of course, Psi-Blocker. Sorry if I still sound a little off. Okay. Psi-Blocker is... Holy crap. Yeah, Psi-Blocker is pretty much the screw you, you can't be played card. Basically, he summoned, you declare a card name, that card's effects cannot be activated until the end of your opponent's next turn, and your opponent cannot play this card. That is amazing. This could be a really good potential side decking card. I say this because not only does it... If you know your opponent's deck inside and out, you could play this card, name the card that could be their only out and stop them from playing it, and thus, they lose the duel. This can be a very game-breaking card, especially if you're in the right hands, I think this is gonna... that's why this is one of those cards where I'm saying, go get it. I beg of you. Okay. So those are the 10 cards. I hope you guys, agree with my choices. Let me know in the comments what you think about what cards you're looking to get. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.